Shabbat Shalom. You can hear me out there say Shabbat Shalom. Ah, it's a lovely sound. There's so many ways to begin Kabbalat Shabbat, so many different songs we can use to invite Shabbat into our lives. Songs of welcome, songs of Israel, even songs without words. And we can even use songs about love. And this is a poem written in the 16th century by the Kabbalists. It's on page 9 in your prayer books. Yedid Nefesh, friend of my soul. And it speaks to a relationship that we have with God, one where our souls are yearning for God. The words of Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh, Av HaRachama, Av HaRachama, Mishochadecha, Eretz Zonecha, Eretz Zonecha. Yedid Nefesh, Yedid Nefesh, Av HaRachama, Av HaRachama, Av HaRachama, Mishochadecha, Eretz Zonecha, Eretz Zonecha, Yarutavtecha, Kemo Hayal Yishtachaveh El Mul Hadarecha. Yedid Nefesh, Av HaRachama, Av HaRachama, Mishochadecha, Eretz Zonecha, Eretz Zonecha.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. We're so glad to have you here. We want to begin by asking Elaine Greenberg and her husband Shelley to come forward to light the Shabbos candles on page 13. And it's in honor of their 60th wedding anniversary. But although it's not written here, I would also add that it should be in honor of the most magnificent Jazz-a-lot concert that Elaine put on last week to raise money for cancer. It truly was an astounding event, and so in many ways a double simcha. Page 13.
Light is the foundation of life, yet impossible to touch. Light is flowers growing and fruit trees blossoming. Photosynthesis and rainbows shimmering. Light is energy and romance, enlightenment and lightning. Light is red and violet and magenta and blue. Lasers and campfires, warmth and illumination, the sunset and the dawn. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, eternal source of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. You did it.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, וציוונו להדליק נר של Shabbat. We continue with Lecha Dodi on page 34.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. 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 שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אליך מיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מהראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה וצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
We turn to page 42. Not yet. No.
How about page 41? Anybody for 41? At the bottom of the page. May these prayers change me, this community work through my spirit. May the symbols around me shine in my heart. The words of Torah lift up my eyes. May these friendships flow through me like a wave, this family move me like a full moon. And now we continue on page 42 with the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, יחד יברח כנותיו ימליך מלכותיו, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, במהרו, יהי שמי רבה מבורך. לעולם עולם מעל מעיה, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי לקודשה. ללמינקו בחטא ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירה לעלמה, וימרוה. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai.
Continue now on the bottom of page 45 as we join together. All that we see, the heavens, the earth, and all that fills it, all these things are the external garments of God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv arabim. Blessed are you, O God, who makes the evening fall. Page 49. We are loved by an unending love. We are guided by the still small voice within us. We are loved by an unending love. A ner tamid to be tended from generation to generation. And a gentle love. Giving meaning to our existence, structure to our lives. And of all the generations who have embraced their covenant. Blessed are you, O God, who loves our people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Joining together on page 57 with Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavecha ubechol nafshecha, ubechol meodecha. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך ושרתם למות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, להיות לכם לאלוהים,
They say that Detroit is becoming a destination for people. And really, Temple Israel is a true destination, but we only see examples of that from time to time. And tonight, we're about to celebrate a young couple about to enter into the covenant of marriage. And this is truly a destination because they're coming from two different cities to meet here on our bima for their wedding blessing for their ufruf. And so we invite Megan Passman and Bradley Krasnick to come forward to celebrate their upcoming wedding. And as they do come forward, we will be sharing with them a gift of a mezuzah and a blessing for their home as they enter into the covenant of love.
Bruchim habayim b'shem Adonai, v'rachnuchem mi beit Adonai.
They're shying away from all of you. Oh God, as this couple has entered into this sanctuary tonight to seek blessings on their love, they do so in front of family and friends who are celebrating with them. We pray that you will watch over them and that their home will be filled with all of the blessings of our tradition. May God, who blessed our ancestors, also bless this new couple to bring their chuppah, their wedding canopy, all of the goodness of our tradition, that their home will be one of openness and hospitality, of joy and celebration, and that every day in that home you will find each other and your souls, and that you will celebrate together all the gifts of life, but mainly God's most precious gift, the gift of peace, as we say together, Amen.
Amen.
Simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, Elanu. Simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, Elanu. Yehedanu, ulefon Israel. Yehedanu, ulefon Israel. Simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov,
At the bottom of page 60, we pray together. Standing at the water's edge, the sea spray on your cheek. Close your eyes and feel within the beating of freedom's drum. Listen closely on the breeze. Do you hear the music of the ages? Oh God, you beat the drum. You are the song. You are the wonder in each of us. With joy and awe, we sing to you this song of freedom.
Kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Dora tehilo oseh vele. Dora tehilo oseh. Say
יסוד אדוני את יעקב, וגהלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Pray responsibly at the bottom of page 63. Now I lay me down to sleep.
Thank you, God, for the gift of rest and rejuvenation.
I pray the Lord my soul to keep.
Watch over me and my loved ones as we transition to a new day.
Your love to guard me through the night.
May my dreams and aspirations be worthy of your blessings.
And wake me in the morning light.
To serve you in faithfulness and bring about a better day.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael V'shamru et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat L'dorotam merit olam
Together on page 68. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach U'Hufia Gitehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, and my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Ivoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sahara, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei HaKol, Zocher Hasei Avot ve'Imaot, U'meifi Geula, Ibnei Bneihem, Le'mahan Shemo be'ahava, Melech Chozer, Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah.
We continue at the top of page 70 together. We call you King, Sovereign, the Lord, and yet you are a glimmer in our souls, a spark of light in the darkness, a breath of divine within us, the goodness that we share, powerful and gentle, everywhere and here, the creator of the infinite universe, and the still small voice that whispers in our ears.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. As you're seated, we pray silently. whisper, quiet, gentle voice. Be holy, hear the whisper, helps us make the choice to be like God. To be like God. Be holy, hear the whisper, present every day. Be holy, hear the whisper, it teaches us the way to be like God. To be like God. Hakadosh, Baruch Hu. Hakadosh, Baruch Hu. Be holy, hear the whisper, realize each word and deed. Be holy, hear the whisper, reminding us we need to be like God. To be like God. Be holy, hear the whisper, the warmth of love's embrace. Be holy, hear the whisper, giving us the grace to be like God. To be like God. Hakadosh, Baruch Hu. Hakadosh, Baruch Hu. Be holy, hear the whisper. Be holy, hear the whisper. Be holy, hear the whisper.
Don't you love that piece? It's like thrown me. It's so beautiful. And as I was listening to it, the words at the end, "Be holy, hear the whisper," I think are a beautiful lead-in to the Mishaberach, that we are cognizant of people around us who might not be yelling out, who might not be screaming and pulling their hair and outwardly showing how hurt they are, how much pain they're in for themselves or for their loved ones. So as we think about those who are ill in our lives and in our families, it's important that we also recognize that not everybody's going to tell us how they're feeling. And so let's all try to be holy and hear their whisper as we pray for healing on page 83.
Source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Love
If this had been an outdoor service tonight, all day long, the following would have been taking place at Temple Israel. It's cloudy, it's rainy, it's sunny, it's beautiful, it's almost ready to put the chairs out. Should we put the ark out? Is it time to put the Torah in the ark? Let's remove the Torah from the ark because we don't want the Torah to get wet if it begins to rain. What's beautiful about this point in my life, I no longer engage in this conversation. Others engage in this conversation. I did for years. There are certain benefits about growing older. That's the only one, I think. That was spontaneous, by the way. That's not on the script here. That's not on my sermon. So I'm going to give you a little bit more insider kind of information to begin my sermon. On this past Shabbat, I had a conversation with one of the regulars at the Kabbalat service. He commented that it was nice that we were able to engage in a conversation, for clergy often leave the service and oneg speedily, reminiscent of the children of Israel fleeing, a point I will return to at the conclusion of my sermon. I asked if he knew why, and he answered no. I went on to explain an additional reason why we truly do look forward to summer services that begin next week. When you see us walking down the hall in the opposite direction before services, and we do not have time for anything more than a quick Shabbat Shalom, know that we are moving in the direction of a bar or bat mitzvah picture. We actually have a precise on-the-minute moment when they will be taken. There are so many different times we have to have a chart. Friday evening, Torah picture, 7:05. Clergy picture, 7:15. Saturday sanctuary, 10:30 a.m. times. Saturday chapel, 11 a.m. times. 5 o'clock Havdalah. 6 p.m. Havdalah when there is a 5 p.m. Havdalah. I'm not making this up. Havdalah at 6 p.m. without a 5 p.m. Havdalah. Now, if you think anyone at my age can memorize this is why I walk around with a much smaller chart. Now you know. There are many different times. And so when you see us disappear in the middle of the service, and I asked Rabbi Bennett to walk out that way much more visibly than we try to do, know that we are trying to get to the conclusion of a bar mitzvah, perhaps to bless the child or join in the closing prayer. And this is one of the many reasons why we look forward to summer services. There's no pressure outside of weather. There are no pictures. Yes, it can be stressful, but it is also a pleasure to be able to be with your families at the time of a simcha. Summertime, and the living is easy. We live in a world often shaped by misconceptions, preconceived notions, or at times simply error. One more easy point of clarification. A congregant and a friend, a regular recently said to me, "Rabbi, you don't give sermons anymore at Temple. I guess you're now focusing on eulogies." I can't make this stuff up, guys. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I know who she is, and I'm not going to point at her, because I love her. So now, information. And by way of clarification, each rabbi during a 6-month period gives the same number of sermons. Sometimes due to scheduling, vacations, youth group retreats, missions, pregnancies, it does not work out in a direct order. Thus, you will hear me this evening. And next Friday evening outside, I will have a second chance when we celebrate 35 amazing, wonderful, incredible years with our preschool director, Brian Alib. We all recognize that how we respond to a question, how we respond to hearing something that doesn't fulfill a preconceived notion is really based upon the desire to get information, perhaps, the connection we feel to the person, or even how a question is being asked. 2 points that come to us from examples in the sports world. Preconceived notions that colored my mind, questions that I was ready to ask. When I first heard that the Kentucky Derby was won by a horse named American Pharoah, I had an immediate question. Who would name a horse Pharaoh? Why should I be excited about an Egyptian owner potentially winning the Triple Crown? This was my instantaneous preconceived notion. Then it was revealed that the owner was in fact an Egyptian Jew who lived in New Jersey. In an instant, I was thrilled. This was my horse. He was now a member of the tribe. Of course, in America, tribes used to ride horses, but for a moment, let's ignore this fact. I was at a Havdalah bar mitzvah, back to bar mitzvahs again, when this remarkable Jewish horse won the Belmont Stakes. Driving home, I turned CNN on. In the midst of the celebration of the now Jewish horse, a commentator was asked about the owner. It was just a moment after the victory. The crowd was elated, history was made, and the commentator began to go into detail about the owner's difficulties in business. Fortunately, he was interrupted by another reporter. Why in the world, I asked, at that moment filled with excitement, great triumph, did the station feel the need to move the conversation in the direction of negative comments about the owner? It had to be anti-Semitism, I thought. Is it possible that the fact that this miracle had been accomplished by a horse owned by a Jew, it was impossible and important to recognize, led to what I would hear as a stereotypical description of the owner? Now, I thought about that for a while, and I hope that I would have felt that in the midst of celebration, a reflection on the character of the owner would have been inappropriate even if it had been identified. He had been identified as the descendant of the sister of a pope and a leading member of the Catholic community. Let's admit, when we hear things as Jews, we have this incredibly sensitive antenna. We have preconceived notions. We come to every conversation with our own understanding. Much was shared in the media about the owner spending Shabbat in the motorhome. Did you hear about that? He's an Orthodox Jew. He didn't drive on Shabbat. How could he get there? 3 motorhomes were brought to the track because he did not want to drive on the holy day on Shabbat. Was this why I led to think about this as a focus that wasn't about the horse, but rather about the man, rather than immediately drawing the more logical conclusion that it was an absurd report at the moment? One other example. I'm an unashamed, proud supporter of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I suffer with their defeats last night. I am in awe at the grit that is being shown on the basketball court. Why am I a Cavs fan? Because the team is part of the Temple Israel Mishpacha. When Shaarei Tzedek had their own team, the Pistons, Temple Israel had the Cavs. As many of you know, we take great pride in our member, Dan Gilbert. This past week, as part of an organization, the Jewish Funders Network, with our own Joyce Keller arranging the program, I had the opportunity to tour the city again. It was an opportunity to see the miraculous transformation of Detroit, and yes, there are many challenges left. But if you have not been downtown lately, you are making a grave error. You are missing a moment, as our guide, Bruce Schwartz, also a member of Temple Israel, stated, that will be read about by our children in their school books. After our tour, we engaged with leaders of the Jewish community who are living in Detroit. They are seeing and leading the slow rebirth of Jewish life in the D. How many of you, in your preconceived notions, ever dreamed that we would be speaking from the Bima and in reality, Jewish life was coming again and being developed in that city where so many of you were born, so many of you grew up, And once again, young people are working there. Young people are moving there. And some older people are thinking about establishing a permanent residence there. It's amazing. They are seeing this slow rebirth. In sports, in the rebuilding of our city, we take pride when a member of our family is doing something that is amazing, and this brings me back to basketball. Basketball, which I have ignored since the days of the great Pistons team, is now personal. So please, join me in a moment of prayer for the Cavs' victory. That was intended as humor. So, do not go home and tell your family and friends that your rabbi, in the midst of his brilliant sermon, stopped for a moment of prayer for a basketball team. But, based upon years of experience, by Wednesday, someone's going to come up to me and accuse me. Rabbi, did you really stop the congregation and ask for prayers on behalf of the Cleveland Cavaliers? It will start with one of you telling a friend or a family member about my fascinating sermon. And by the time this is transmitted to the fourth person, I will have had you stand for a moment of silent prayer while the cantor sang the Cavaliers' fight song. I can only give these kinds of sermons with mishpacha in the room, you understand? Stories, when repeated, are changed in their transmission. When we hear something, we do not always look for validation or facts. Preconceived notions, if we hold them, lead us to conclusions that are often totally lacking in any reality, but we jump to answers. Preconceived notions, in this case, anything is possible, lead to a desire on the part of some individuals to believe and always accept the worst. Now, what is really fascinating is that this week's Torah portion provides at least a partial explanation for all of the examples just shared. The children of Israel have escaped Egypt. I told you I was going to get back here like the rabbis escaped the service. The power of God was apparent at the moment when they crossed the sea. The children of Israel have already received the 10 Commandments in Mount Sinai. The power of God has been revealed to them. Moses now chooses 12 leaders of the tribes. Scout the land of Canaan and come back with a report and tell us whether or not we can conquer the land. The report, all recognize the land is flowing with milk and honey. 10 scouts or spies report back about the land. The land is filled with giants, and we are like grasshoppers. They attack the leader, Moses. Why did you bring us into this desert to die? Why did you leave us in that wonderful land of Egypt where we had abundance, so much? 2 scouts, Joshua and Caleb, said, with God's help, we can accomplish the task now. Now, they all saw the same thing. The people in Canaan certainly looked exactly the same to all of them. For 10 leaders of tribes, the challenge was too great because they viewed themselves as small and they saw themselves as insignificant human beings. Surely the anti-Semites, they were all anti-Semites, or they were all Semites in Canaan. They can't be defeated. So how are these totally different conclusions drawn? Perhaps, this is my analysis, when the 10 get together, the story about a big man starts over here. And by the time it reaches the 10th individual, that big man has become into a giant. Isn't that what we do with stories? Isn't that what we do with our preconceived notions? Isn't that what we often do with the way we understand the world? facts are so often distorted by preconceptions, shaped by misinformation, and then when they're delivered to people who are insecure, action is impossible. God had freed them. God had been revealed to them. For a group of individuals whose lives had been colored by the reality of slavery, people who had felt the whip and the lash, this was not enough. The children of Israel would have conquered the land of Canaan 40 years earlier if fear and preconceived notions about what is possible and impossible in the world had not overcome faith. Only Joshua and Caleb, the two positive scouts, were alive when 40 years later Moses ascends to the top of a mountain and the two of them are able to enter the promised land. Every aspect of our lives we must reconsider at times. It's how we view the world that often really does lead to our conclusions. If we're positive inherently and we see the world in an up way, we draw positive conclusions. That's where we all want to be. If we start with negativity in our spirit, everything, even the smallest slight, becomes an embarrassing moment for us. We must never underestimate the power of a preconceived notion and must continually ask ourselves, if what we heard is accurate, where are the facts? How do our relationships, our sense of who we are, impact our conclusions? How careful are we when we transmit information from one person to the next? So what have we learned? Now you understand why clergy move quickly before and after services. You will never ask a rabbi, why are you no longer delivering sermons? You now know the secret. We have 4 opportunities about every 6 months. One of my teachers stated, we see the world. The rabbi taught us about Jewish life. He said, most Jews, no matter how involved or how unengaged, see the world through Jew-colored glasses. When we hear about something that impacts us as a people, when we hear about an individual, we filter it. And sometimes we color it in a way that does not allow us to see what is clearly in front of us. Why was a Jewish owner being described negatively at the moment of amazing victory? Our question is often based upon conjecture, our answers filtered through historical memory. We revel in the success of members of our people. We're happy to see that. We revel in the success of members of our family who do well. We are also saddened by those who bring shame. And so I say, Shabbat Shalom. Go Cavs. And in addition, like phony ending, wasn't that great? And in addition, finally, this new Pharaoh is quite different than the one who enslaved our people. But never forget, it was the old Pharaoh in the story who did not remember Joseph that led to Sinai and spies and now our modern Jewish future. So who was this old Pharaoh? What was his pathology? A brilliant question to be answered by the rabbi assigned to speak before Pesach. Once again, see you outside next week. And I think you like the sermon. I may repeat it again, so don't mind. No. Shabbat Shalom.
Another, there will be peace in the world. When we understand one another, there will be peace in the world. When we love one another, there will be peace in the world. Yeh shalom. shalom ba'olam. Yeh shalom. Yeh shalom. When we believe in one another, there will be peace in the world. When we learn from one another, there will be peace in the world. When we work with one another, there will be peace in the world. Yeh shalom. Yeh shalom ba'olam. Yeh shalom. Yeh shalom. When we believe that peace will come, we can see the beauty in everyone. When we believe that peace can be, we are children of one family. Yeh shalom. Yeh shalom ba'olam. Yeh shalom. Yeh shalom. Yeh shalom. Yeh shalom ba'olam. Yeh shalom. Yeh shalom. Yeh shalom. Yeh shalom ba'olam. Yeh shalom. Yeh shalom.
You will excuse me, but I have to go into the sanctuary for the bar mitzvah service. Not to watch the Tigers game. Rabbi Bennett went to watch the Tigers game. I am going into the bar mitzvah service. But before I do, I have an important responsibility, and that is to call upon the newest member of our executive committee, Joe Beagleman, to come forward to deliver the announcements. And I must say, just one thing as he's coming up, that really no one would care if you told us, Rabbi Loss, to pray for the Cavaliers. Underdogs, Jews, it sort of works. It's just if one of you goes home and tells people that the rabbi asked you to pray for that team in Ohio, there could be pogroms. We don't know. So just be careful how you put it.
So this is my second time reading announcements, but my first time with my mother and Saba here to watch. Special night. Shabbat Shalom. Temple Israel Concert and Lecture Series and the Shmir Chapel Chamber Series are proud to present an evening with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra on June 14th at 7:30 p.m. We are fortunate to welcome Lori Landers Goldman, David Ledoux, and Ziwa Tang as they combine their talents in a very special program to complete their 2014-2015 concert and lecture series. Please join us next week at our first outdoor service on June 19th when we celebrate Brian Alib's 35 years as director of the Early Childhood Center. Come and wish her a mazel tov on her retirement. Check out the website to sign up for the picnic dinner or call Sandy Stocker at Temple. Come enjoy Shabbat under the stars on July 3rd as Cantor Smolash is joined by this year's Irving Laker of blessed memory, artist in residence. Stacy Byer will join our cantors for a blend of familiar melodies with Stacy's own Nashville style. At home, country and pop scene. At home in the country and pop scene, Stacy brings along Taylor Swift's drummer, Carrie Underwood's arranger, and Amy Grant's bass player. For further information or to RSVP or to volunteer for any of these programs, check the information table as you leave or call Temple office during regular business hours. Please join us after services for the Oneg and Shabbat greetings. On behalf of the officers and members of the Board of Trustees, Shabbat Shalom.
So, was he more or less nervous than he was at his bar mitzvah? No? Good? Good. We're having an evening full of simchas, and we celebrated a 60th anniversary as we opened our service, and it is my really my pleasure to invite up Sheila and Dan Schiffer to open the Ark in honor of their 50th wedding anniversary. So you guys will have to ask the Greenbergs for some, marriage advice to invest in yourself. Please rise as we turn to page 189. Kids can come up for candy too.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לצאת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שמנו חלקנו כהם, לגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו גורים ומשתחווים ומודים.
Please be seated. Our thoughts turn now to those of memory as we remember our loved ones who are no longer with us. And this evening, our temple community remembers those who have died in recent days: Bernard Adler, Geraldine Anderman, Estelle Friedlander Bostard, Seymour Bistro, Richard Bloom, Ben Cohen, Blanche Duke, Marianne Ferrari, Alfred Geronimus, Evelyn Grodman, Stanley Howard Klein, Harry Lazarus, Olga Prishkolnik, Jordan Sheldon Rader, David Miller Rabin, Harriet Shapiro, Richard Sitter, and Ronald Stern. We also remember those who have died at this time in years past: Fanny Blatnikoff, Harry Blatnikoff, Ben Budson, Rose Budson, Estelle Eisenberg, Esther Elias, Dr. Alan Stephen Emery, Geraldine Feldman, Sam Fenton, Margaret Glassman, Jack Gorbach, Sarah Kahn, Clara Kleiman, Rose Levine, Zelda Goldberg-Levitt, Martin Loss, Hannah Meyer, Sam Pliskow, Louis Schwartz, Hyman Stolman, Robert Frank Stolman, Rosalind Laya Trunsky, and Rosetta Whitefield, Rose Arbit, Meiji, Philip Kahn, Cindy Schiffman, Arthur Lober, Harry Rubenfire, Lillian Wolfe, Michael Stearns, Frank Sharkus, and Daniel Berman. We remember them with love and we honor them with words of Kaddish on page 199 as we rise together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha b'reichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu be'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu be'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May God send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as together we say.
עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלאם עלינו ויעקב העולם. Salam, salam עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם, סלאם, סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם, סלאם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. שבת שלום.